Welcome to Lesson 1 of the Mum-Bod Core Foundations course. Today, you will learn about optimal core function and how posture can affect your healing. So let's dive in to what makes up your core. First up, what are your deep core muscles? Well, you've got your pelvic floor, your diaphragm, your multifidus, and your transverse abdominals. Your deep core muscles work together to stabilize your pelvis and your spine. Without the stability of the spine and pelvis, the areas above and below would not be in the most advantageous position and may lead to pain and dysfunction. Let's imagine our core system is like a pressure chamber. Everything works together. So as you inhale, your diaphragm contracts down, helping you draw air into your lungs. Your ribs expand out and your pelvic floor goes down, it relaxes. Your chest and back and front expand out. This allows the pressure change due to your ribs filling with air. As you exhale, your diaphragm relaxes up and your ribs come in. Your pelvic floor comes up to a resting position. Your chest, back and sides come in. This allows pressure to change once again. Your deep core muscles work together, helping to create and regulate pressure. Your diaphragm and pelvic floor move together with each breath. This helps promote natural core and pelvic floor recovery postpartum. So, as you inhale, your pelvic floor relaxes, and as you exhale, your pelvic floor contracts, it lifts up. Breathing helps regulate intra-abdominal pressure, which can help prevent hernias, prolapse, diastasis recti, and back pain. Now, after pregnancy, our pressure chamber goes through some big changes, almost like a balloon that's been deflated. We must relearn how to manage this internal pressure as we heal. As we discussed a little further on, there were some weaknesses to our postpartum core system, such as our pelvic floor muscles and anterior core. If we know that pressure follows a path of least resistance, it makes sense for us to be aware of this internal pressure in our core so we can prevent or manage prolapse, hernias, and other pelvic concerns. Okay, now I want to talk a little more about your pelvic floor and why it's so special. Your pelvic floor muscles support the organs in the pelvis and maintains their optimal angle. It helps to resist the sudden rise of intra-abdominal pressure, such as sneezing or lifting something heavy. It plays a significant role in continence. It helps rotate the baby's head during delivery. It increases sexual satisfaction. It coactivates with the transverse abdominals to assist in pelvic spinal stability. And it has an inhibitory effect on the bladder activity. It also contributes to both postural and respiratory functions. Now, during pregnancy, increased levels of the hormone relaxin are believed to affect the fascia and weaken the pelvic floor support system. Research suggests it's pregnancy rather than childbirth itself that has the most significant effect on your pelvic floor muscles. This means you're not immune to pelvic floor dysfunction if you had a C-section birth rather than a vaginal birth. Other factors include genetics. They can play a role in determining the strength of your pelvic floor. The increased weight of your baby places additional and progressive pressure on the weakened pelvic floor, putting it at risk. So it makes sense to learn how to reconnect and rebalance the strength and tone of your pelvic floor muscles after pregnancy. And we will dive into this in more detail further in the course. Now, let's talk about your abdominal muscles, because these guys go through a tremendous amount of stretching in all directions through pregnancy. So we have your transverse abdominals, your internal obliques, your rectus abdominals, and your external obliques. These muscles support your body and help you move in all directions. They are interconnected along your midline via a fibrous tissue called the linea alba. Now, during pregnancy, there's a lot of growing and stretching going on to accommodate your growing uterus and baby. The connective tissue within your muscles provides a degree of elasticity, but the main changes occur to the linea alba. So the two bands of recti muscles stretch away from each other down the midline to allow more space for your growing baby. This is known as diastasis recti, which is separation of the recti muscles, and is very common, occurring in almost all women by the end of the 3rd trimester. But this isn't a case of your abdominals splitting, but a stretching of the fibrous tissue, the linea alba. Also, during pregnancy, your ribs get pushed out, flattening your diaphragm. Your organs and baby get pushed up, preventing your diaphragm from contracting correctly, so you can't get a deep breath in. Your posture also experiences changes caused by pregnancy, and again, we will discuss this in more detail further into the course. But for optimal core function, we want our ribs stacked over our hips. This allows our diaphragm and our pelvic floor to be stacked correctly. This then puts our deep core muscles in optimal alignment to manage intra-abdominal pressure. This helps us to heal and recover postpartum, helps us to manage any prolapse symptoms, to heal a diastasis, to reduce back pain, and to help with any pelvic floor dysfunction such as leaking, etc. Your body must relearn how to manage this core pressure after you have birthed your child. And as you progress through this course, you will learn the foundations to support your body through this healing process. Well done for completing lesson 1 of the Mumbod Core Foundations course. Don't forget to download your ebook. That's yours to keep. It's got all the information in there as well. And if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can find all my contact information on my website, which is www.themumbodpt.com.